Hello, gamers, and welcome to Not Another Update, a weekly news podcast by NextPlay Australia, recapping and discussing the latest video game news of the week. I'm your host, Brad, joined today by Jamie
Hello.
and Ben.
Ahoy!
How are you, boys?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
How's your week been?
Sleepy.
Mid to good.
Nice.
Mid to good's all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not bad, so that's good.
Living the dream.
Now, before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to keep up to date with our latest video content. Or if you're watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow us so you get notified of every new episode. Everything you need is linked below, and with housekeeping out of the way, let's get into the show. All right, so our first news piece for this week is, of course, the Xbox layoffs. Probably the biggest news we've had in months, I think, in regards to layoffs. And Bloomberg has posted earlier this week a report that several studios in Microsoft Corp's Xbox gaming division, Montreal-based Compulsion Games and San Francisco-based Double Fine, are in active negotiations to spin off as they try to thwart closure, according to people familiar with the company's plans. Cambridge, England-based Ninja Theory, the maker of Hellblade, is also in conversations with Xbox, as are several other studios across the portfolio that are at risk of being shuttered. The studios may still have the opportunity to buy themselves back from Xbox and go independent, although many employees will likely lose their jobs as a result, said the people who asked not to be named because they were not authorized to speak to the press. Employees at several studios have been informed of the situation and given permission to seek new work, but were told that the status of the studios is still in flux. The potential closures are part of a broader reorganization being overseen by Asha Sharma, who took over as Xbox's new chief executive officer in February. Last week, Bloomberg News reported that the gaming division is planning significant layoffs, and Sharma has sent out a memo to staff lamenting the bleak state of the business, which has seen revenue and margins plummet in recent years. Going forward, this cannot continue, she wrote. So, massive news out of that. Compulsion Games, obviously, most recently known for South of Midnight. Double Fine, known for Psychonauts 2, and most recently Keeper, the Lighthouse game, and Kiln, which was a multiplayer game, I believe. And probably the weirdest studio mentioned here is Ninja Theory, who we know from Hellblade 2, and most recently, like a week and a half ago, had a new title called Senua announced, so it's not really clear what the fate of that title is. I did read somewhere that Xbox still included it in the showcase to see if like they could get someone to buy the studio, which I think is wrong completely. Jamie, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, obviously, I think it's shit. I have said on the podcast many times I don't like capitalism. It's pretty crap in general. I think the whole thing in general, like you're talking about the drop in margins and the profitability and everything like that. Like everything blew up over COVID. Like let's be fair, around the 2016 when we all hit it, lining up to about 2020, industry just went boom. Like the numbers were insane in terms of profits. And I think a lot of companies just assumed that everything was just going to keep going up. But, everyone at home wanted to buy a console, so they had something to play when they were in lockdowns. And obviously, there was a little bit of a drop afterwards, and we've seen that sort of steady now. But when Xbox came out and did their sort of showcase of, look at all the studios we bought, that was in 2018. So that was like peak gaming is just insane right now in terms of money. So it kind of comes across as a decision where they had an influx of cash. They wanted to sort of double down in we have exclusives too. And they jumped on Ninja Theory and Compulsion Games in 2018 before getting Double Fine in 2019. Now, I said this in the Discord where we all chat. None of the games that these few studios produce, in my opinion, are heavy hitters. They are not sellers. I know Psychonauts has a massive cult following. I love the original. I think it's fantastic. I haven't got to the sequel yet, but it's not going to sell systems. South of Midnight, I've been really interested in that one. Have not played it, but we've discussed that on the pod multiple times. That's like right up my alley. It hasn't even really been given a chance on PlayStation 5. It's only been out in a couple of months. So, it could discounts. There's no physical copy, I believe. So it's a little bit disappointing for me in my collection. As for Ninja Theory, like, how much have I spoken on the pod how much I love Hellblade, the original? Like, if anyone was going to consider getting an Xbox or find a way to play for Hellblade 2, it was me. Like, I absolutely adore that first game. And I feel like I'm in the minority there. I don't think a lot of people are going to jump over just for Hellblade 2. It was just a nice thing to have in the Xbox library, but I don't know what they expected from these purchases. Like, they are not massive heavy hitters, like I've said. They're not going to do insane numbers. I think I also read that maybe the studio behind Ninja Gaiden was also potentially going to be on the chopping block. Again, Ninja Gaiden, extremely niche game. Like, it is super hard. I don't think it is a mainstream title, so it's not going to blow up. So it just makes you wonder, why did they get a bunch of shiny new toys that were never going to do milestone figures to then do the Toy Story meme of I don't want to play with you anymore, and to then just go and get rid of them, and to just showcase a trailer in hopes that this will make someone come and buy the studio. That's just some dastardly shit. Like, that's the first I heard of it. You pointing that out, but like, to literally just showcase a trailer in hopes that someone will come and buy the studio that you plan to sell is a pretty like deceiving move. Like, I just don't think that's great. The whole situation is just kind of crap. Like, I've ranted a little bit, but I'd be very curious to hear what everyone else thinks.
Ben, do you have thoughts?
Yeah,
I'm sure you do.
not at all. So you think like Xbox can't go any lower than literally it comes out a week after a game is announced that they could be possibly shutting the studio. Like, to me, that's just insane. But same what you said, Brad, and just kind of reading between the lines, like, all this information has come from people that are not allowed to say this. It makes me think that instead of being upfront, what they're trying to do is save face and try and save the bottom line. So if they come out now and say all these companies are getting axed, it sounds bad. But if they come out in like another week or two and say, look, we've had to make a really hard decision and these companies are going to go on to, so and so, and they're going to continue, making these games that we all love, blah, 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 then it sounds a little bit better. And like, they've actually, tried to still make the games, not just cut them off, at the knees. But yeah, like Jamie said, like, it just sounds really deceiving, especially after like the great showcase they had last week, and like Ash Schwarma was giving away translucent Xboxes to everyone in the crowd. It's just wild. And I think, like what Jamie said, why would they give these away? It's like back to what you said about they bought all these companies, they had all this extra cash. That extra cash, because of COVID, vanished. Like, and then it was just bad decision after bad decision, bad game after bad game, Redfall, like, all these games, it just like piled up. And like, I don't know if it's Asha Schwarma's like deal, or she's just like come in to make the hard choices, but she's kind of got this hand and been like, well, there's the only way out, profitability, like as a business, is to promote bigger games that they're going to make money off and get rid of these smaller ones that might not be losing money per se, but aren't worth keeping for the long run. So yeah, it's unfortunate, and like a lot of people, like I don't want to sound like I agree with it, but like you still have to look at it as a business perspective as well, like what they're deciding. Like, you know, they're not saying, "Oh, everyone loves this game, let's just kill it." Unfortunately for us, really, it comes down to numbers, and that's all. That's all they can do as a business in that side of it. But yeah, for South of Midnight, I played it, the PS5 version earlier this year. I reviewed it. It's fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a perfect game, but it's definitely above average. It had some fantastic themes, and the visuals are great. And I, I really want a sequel. I would play a sequel day one. So
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's just disappointing.
Yeah, and it, Xbox and I guess Microsoft is one of like the biggest companies in the world. Like they can afford losses. It's just so strange that they're kind of destroying people's livelihoods just because they want to make an extra dollar. Um, Going back to the 2018 acquisitions, back then it was Compulsion Games, Double Fine was 2019, In Exile Entertainment was 2018, which is known for the Wasteland series, and Clockwork Revolution, which is coming out next year, I think. Ninja Theory was 2018 as well, with Obsidian and Playground Games, who are known
They
for
went nuts.
Forza Horizon and Fable. Yeah, they did go nuts. And
Oh,
Undead Labs for State of Decay
Mm.
and when
as
did they
well.
buy Activision? Because I think that was kind of their big
That's
downfall, because that hasn't been the moneymaker they wanted it to be.
no, that was
Was that early
it
2020s? It's
was
definitely not before that, was it?
no, it
No, I
was
don't think so.
2020 uh 2020.
Well, will you look that
They
up?
they
Where's
announced
it?
intent to acquire Activision in 2022,
Yeah,
Hmm.
some
and
maybe the year after.
I feel like it was quite a few years of negotiations, but it was very recently. So, um, I have been very vocal on this podcast at how I feel like Game Pass has kind of destroyed Xbox. Like, no one's paying for their games. Like, you don't see these issues with PlayStation. It's like
It's
Game
eating
Pass,
itself.
yeah, it is. It
Mhm.
is. How are the studios meant to make money or any sort of meaningful revenue when their games are free when they launch? It's
Mhm.
how are you meant to measure that success? Not that you should measure success based on sales alone. Um, it's just odd. I just don't know what Xbox are. What do they want? Because, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, they,
I don't think they know. We've spoke about the
yeah,
fact that the Xbox brand itself became its sort of own ecosystem. Like this is an Xbox. This fridge is an Xbox. You know what I mean? Like it's so mixed messaging of what it is. Like it's not even a console really anymore. It's just a platform
no,
that you play games.
yeah,
And as you said, with Game Pass and then them sort of throwing out exclusivity, which I was fine with as a PlayStation player, but it really did not give you a reason to have a genuine console in the house. You know, why would you need it
mm,
if you can play the games elsewhere? So I have no idea of the budget or how much they're making off of Game Pass, but like as you said, the profitability of that, I don't understand how what the end goal is of like how is this sustainable.
yeah. Well,
I think
clearly it's not because they keep closing studios. over
I
and
think what
over.
doesn't help is that it is owned by Microsoft, and like you said, Microsoft is, a huge company, and there's
It's
a
made
reason. There's a
Microsoft
reason
is
for
like a
that.
$3 trillion company.
Yeah, and there's a
Xbox is
reason
like
for
that
that. They
out of the whole
they
Microsoft. Yeah.
exactly, and we don't know the ins and outs. Some Microsoft CEO or board member would be like, I need 1% less from Xbox, and 1% in Microsoft, that equals 3 studios. Like, it might seem like a lot of money to us, but in
Mm.
the terms of the Microsoft Corporation, it's nothing to them. And it's
That
just
that's true. However, like I don't I think Asha Sharma, yes, could just be making the hard decisions like you said, Ben, but like it's just really random decisions that she's been making. Like whatever about the free Xboxes that got given away, who cares about that? But um I guess listening to feedback on Gears of War E-Day, which was allegedly developed for PlayStation as well, but that got scrapped because people told Asher that they didn't want it on PlayStation. Like
I didn't say I
it
said there were
just
hard
this.
decisions, not good decisions.
Well, yeah, I meant the hard decisions being the
Yeah.
closures and stuff. Um,
Ironically, I
y-
was looking forward to playing E-Day after
yeah,
I still think it will
the
come
first one.
eventually. Give it like a year and a half.
Yeah,
yeah,
when they don't
it's
make the sales figures they want because it's on Game
Mhm.
Pass.
yeah.
Yep.
So just looking at the remaining studios that Xbox have, so they've still got the Coalition, which is for the Gears of War series,
Mhm.
Halo Studios, obviously the Halo series, In Exile Entertainment, the Wasteland series, and Clockwork Revolution, Mojang Studios, obviously from Minecraft, Obsidian, which is known for Grounded and Fallout New Vegas, Playground Games, Forza Horizon, and Fable, Rare, which is known for a
Nothing,
lot
because
of
it doesn't do
things.
anything anymore.
Well, yeah, I don't actually know what they're doing with
I
that.
think they're still making
um,
avatars on the 360, I believe.
probably. Turn 10 Studios for the Forza Motorsports series, Undead Labs for the State of Decay series, World's Edge for the Age of Empires series, and obviously the Xbox Game Studios publishing as well, which I'm pretty sure just assist with development on other titles. So I mean, they don't have a lot. Like when you look at it, once these three get sold off. Um,
I do have one more point I just want to
mm,
point out. It's probably a
yeah,
bigger issue that probably could be its own podcast in the future of the development life cycle of video games as is. Like ever since Compulsion were purchased, we've only had South of Midnight from them, I believe.
yeah, yeah,
And then Ninja Theory, we've had Hellblade 2, and then we've just got the next game announced. So if you look at it that way, they were both picked up in 2018. That's 8 years, and we've only just got the second game from Ninja Theory, and we've only had the one which is ported across 2 consoles for Compulsion. So, like I said, there's a bigger theory which we discussion about just how long it takes to make a video game these days with the
yeah.
AAA space. PlayStation do it too, like in terms of just shutting down studios that aren't getting the money back as well. But like how long it takes to develop something like another God of War game, or Naughty Dog
Mm,
just sitting there doing Intergalactic for 20 years whilst releasing Last of Us remasters like crazy. Like this is how they keep the lights on, because they just have such a massive like life cycle. There's got to be some way, and a lot of companies will probably come forward and just use AI as an excuse to speed up development, but there's got to be better ways about it. I still remember back in the PS3 era when you used to have Ubisoft were a little bit creative on the side, releasing games like Valiant Hearts or Child of Light, like these smaller indie games that would allow you to play something else while the bigger games were being made. I still think that was such a cool idea, and very few studios seem to sort of allow their B team or a sort of segment of devs go and do something creative anymore. But yeah, there is a big problem with video games, I think, and how long it takes to create things nowadays. Well, there's a lot of games all around, but
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
when
it's been it's said that for a while, like ever since, like, I mean, The Last of Us, really, like that notion of you like crunch time
yep,
during the
yep.
phase of video games, because like they they are businesses and they need to get it out. So the only way to, solve that problem is make this game this many years to this many years. There's only a certain amount of hours. You can't
Mhm.
hire 100 more people or 1,000 more people or whatever to get a game done, because that's just obviously not profitable. So the only other thing is like, well, everyone has to work 12-hour days for the next 6 months before we get the game out. And then,
Which is definitely
hopefully,
unethical.
oh, of course.
It's not great,
It's
no.
it's ridiculous. But like, Naughty Dog have come out and said that they've made changes and stuff like that since, but it's definitely still a thing and it's still around.
Mm.
And there's always going to be this pressure, like especially now, like you can release award-winning games and then get shut down. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen it.
What
But
was the one where they
yeah,
released and literally got shut down on that same week? I think Berto reviewed it. Can't
Yeah.
remember. It was like last year or something, like, which is crazy because like even Hi-Fi Rush, they did really
yeah, there
well,
was
and then
Hi-Fi
they were
Rush.
yeah out the door.
Yeah, I don't know what that one was, but
No. Yeah. If it's coming from Microsoft, like that's kind of worse. I don't know. I
Mm.
get that it's just all about profits, etc. But what about also the public perception of your company too? Like, this definitely doesn't make me want to buy an Xbox at
yeah.
all.
But I
No,
mean,
Um,
I feel like they've struggled with that kind of perception thing for, you know, 10 years or
yeah,
so.
well, this just definitely isn't making it any better, for sure.
maybe
Especially in the
maybe
last year or so.
maybe that's her kind of idea. Well, it's already bad, so let's just, make it
like a band-aid
profitable.
right off.
Yeah, let's just make it profitable first, and then, we'll look good to customers later. I don't know.
Mm,
People have short attention span these days, so they'll forget by next week.
True.
I do
I
not.
I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, so
All right, I let's turn to something a little more happy. Nintendo Switch 2 has turned 1 year old. How adorable. Um, Jamie, what do 1 year old babies do?
Lots of screaming. They teeth a lot. They shit a lot. They sort of just lay there a bit, but every now and again they'll release a good game.
Nice, nice. All right, so the Nintendo.
I think that's called sleep time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes. All right, so the Nintendo Switch 2 turned 1 last week, with hardware selling just shy of 20 million units,
Jeez.
surpassing the Nintendo Wii U by 6 million units, and it's closing in on the GameCube as we speak, which I believe was at 21 million units. So let's talk about Nintendo Switch 2 and what we think of its launch year. We saw first party titles like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Pokemon Pokopia, Kirby Air Riders, and Hyrule Age of Imprisonment. And we also saw Nintendo Switch 2 edition releases for games like Animal Crossing New Horizons, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Pokemon Legends ZA, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. All right, so who has a Nintendo Switch 2? Is it just me? Just me.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So,
Not yet.
how did you guys feel about the Nintendo Switch 2 on launch, and a year later, do you feel any differently about it? Like, do you want one even more, or do you think you could wait longer? Ben, we'll start with you.
Initially, yeah, I wanted it. Um, it's kind of been a up and down situation for me. Of course, there's the money issue, everyone's current issue, but
Yeah.
also I'm mostly a PlayStation gamer, so I have a hefty backlog on there and current games. But initially when a new console's announced, of course you want it. Like you
Yeah.
don't not want it, but I couldn't get it at launch, and that was fine because the launch title was Mario Kart, and like it didn't for me it didn't offer anything that made me want to go, I need this.
Mm,
And then when Metroid was coming out, whilst I haven't played most of the main Prime games, just the remastered on the Switch, it looked really good, and I'm like, wow, it's time to get this. And then the reviews came out, and it wasn't a massive hit that they kind of thought it was. So I was like, I'll kind of wait. And nothing else has really sold it to me yet until last week, which I'm
mm,
sure
yeah. I was gonna
both of
ask
you
about
know.
that.
That rhythm game that they showed? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the
The
one with the
thumb wrestling.
drums.
That's what got you.
Ocarina, I mean,
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah, that one.
I you guys were talking about it last week, and I played it. I didn't play it on the 64. I played it on an emulator on my PC when I was younger, and it was still great. And I really want to experience that on console and on a Switch too. So
Mm,
I will definitely be looking at trying to get it towards the end of this year, maybe Christmas. We will see, but I think it's got now, after a year, it's got enough behind it to warrant a purchase for, any type of gamer. Like, even though Prime wasn't great, you know, after getting, Ocarina and playing that, I'd probably go back and be like, hey, I'll check it out. And that's kind of like where it's at. There's enough backlog in the releases to, kind of keep the gameplay going for
mm.
new purchase, new buyers that get it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I did get one on launch, and I was pretty hyped at the time, um, for Mario Kart World, which I ended up not loving, so that was disappointing. And then my next target was Pokemon Legends CA, which I do think that I liked that game more purely for the fact that I played it on Switch too, because I don't think it ran as well on Switch.
You played that on the original Switch, didn't you, Jamie?
I did. I actually didn't think there was that many technical issues. I just thought the game was
mm,
a bit poor, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Um, but since then, there hasn't been a lot for me. Um, Pokopia is definitely a game I would love, but I just don't have time for like a game like that.
Yeah.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, there's not really been anything else. Star Fox coming up. Never played a Star Fox game, so not very invested in that. Um, but Ocarina of Time remake is definitely gonna be a game I'm gonna jump on day one because my original playthrough of that game was the 3DS version when that came out. So it's been quite some time since I've played it, and I'm very excited to see what they do with it. Um, I definitely think out of like in terms of console sellers, I feel like Pokopia had a bit of juice when it comes to that, just because of how hyped it was in the
Yeah.
first few weeks of release. Other than that, I think maybe Ocarina of Time Remake's going to be the first like
Big.
game that makes people want to go and buy a Switch
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll have
Definitely.
a limited edition version as well.
I think, like you said, Star Fox is good, and I definitely want to play that. But I think they should have gone in a different direction. They should have done a proper sequel, proper, new
Yeah.
game. Like, I mean, I've played Lilac Wars like I don't know how many times, like a ridiculous amount. I still have the Nintendo 64 cartridge. Um, and like, yeah, it looks great, but does it look great enough just to buy a $700-800 console?
No. No, it
Like,
does not.
no. I'm sorry, but no.
Um, I do think, I feel like Pokemon Winds and Waves is gonna come out early next year, which I
Yeah.
think will also be a console seller because it is exclusive to Switch too. So,
That was probably my next, like before last week, that was probably what I was aiming at, like to try and have a Switch
yeah.
before then. Like,
But
I liked the look of ZA, but
mm,
it wasn't, I don't know, it was not a
it,
new
it's,
generation of Pokemon.
yeah, it's not an it's like a spin-off basically.
Yeah.
It's not the authentic Pokemon experience that we crave.
Yeah, exactly. And I played the last one, Arceus late, and
Yeah.
like I I don't think I don't think I lost anything from waiting. So I'm happy to do the same
Yeah.
with ZA.
Yeah. Jamie, what about you? How did you feel about Nintendo Switch 2 on launch, and do you feel differently now?
Well, as Ben said, if I had unlimited monies, I would have bought it at launch.
Mm,
But um, like a Mario Kart game at launch like that's a system seller in general. Obviously, with the numbers that it's at, like a lot of people did jump on the Mario Kart bundles and everything like that. The open world just I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop of like justifying its existence a little bit. Like I was like, oh, there
mm.
must be like hidden stuff or like additional missions you could do with your friends, and then it was just like, oh, we've got some coins. You want to find them? Like that's about it. And it was like, oh no, I love Mario Kart as much as the next person, but like it was not enough for me to go and risk getting beaten up by the misses to go buy it at launch. Um, I do want one. As I said to you the other week, I was very tempted during the Big W sales until the missus was like, "No, I'm going to get you one as a surprise later this year." So I will have one at some stage, but like for
Surprise!
me, yeah, I ruined that. But like with the jack up in prices happening in a couple of months, like it's best if you are considering like go now. Like there's no harm in it
Mm,
if you are um able to with monies. I'm very keen for Donkey Kong. Like that's the game that I would want to play first. It looks
yeah,
like so much fun, and I
I think
believe a
it's a
lot of
game you'll
people.
love.
Oh yeah, a lot of people compared it to Odyssey, and Odyssey is like one of my favorite Mario games, and
Yeah.
up there is one of my favorite open world like platformer type things. So I very much want to play that. As I said last week, have never hit the end credits in Ocarina, so I want to check that out. Star Fox for me, I've played it. I've played the 3DS remake, I believe they did one.
Yeah.
Mm,
And it's like it's fine. It's like you could beat it in a couple of hours. So unless they're adding like a heap of additional content, which I know they're adding some cutscenes here and there, um, I just again, it's just like maybe an additional brick for people to justify or maybe getting it, but like I can't see many people jumping on board just for a Star Fox that is a remake, which has already been remade
Which are
technically
remade, yeah,
previously. Yeah,
twice
so I mean,
already.
mm.
Because on the Wii
I,
U as well.
yeah. Oh, I hated the Wii U version. The Wii U controls were an absolute mess, but
Yeah.
I I didn't like Pokemon Czar that much. I thought it was very repetitive, the city environment in comparison to Arceus. I want to play Wind and Waves, and I hope it's good because I've been not let down, but just a little bit disappointed in some of the most recent mainline entries of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I want to be hyped again. Like the starters look like things. So I'll just wait and see how that all goes. But yeah, when I do get a Switch 2, I'll definitely be giving my opinions on the pod.
You know, it's funny
Yeah.
you mentioned sales. Like my wife is does look out for these sort of gaming deals and stuff. And she came to me the other day and was like, laughing. I'm like, what? JB Hi-Fi has a sale on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know if you've seen the JB Hi-Fi signs, but they're like, you know, massive breaking discount on the Nintendo
So
Switch,
$5.
$40 off.
Oh
Like
God.
$40 off like
2 coffees.
780 or
Yeah.
mate, that's not even like a quarter of a shop for me,
Mm,
a
Yeah.
weekly shop. But yeah, it's just crazy that prices are just keep on going up.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
anyway.
What a time to be alive. Um.
Expensive time.
Yeah. All right, so we do have Pokemon Winds and Waves, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time remake, The Duskbloods, and more unannounced titles coming in year 2. What else would you like to see? Jamie.
I'd love to see like an Odyssey 2 or another open world Mario. Like that
Yeah.
that's some of the other heavy hitters like close to their chest, right? Like a new Zelda from the ground up. Super Smash is going to be massive whenever they do dive
Yeah.
into that again. And then either a new 3D Mario or like the 2D ones come out more often, so there's less excitement about those, I feel. But like it's been so long since Odyssey. I don't know when exactly it was released, but like if they announced like an Odyssey 2 or like what if they came out of left field because they've done a lot with Galaxy recently and just went Mario Galaxy 3. Like they've done the movie, they did the like the remastered collections and stuff like that. There is hype there now with the Galaxy name, so
Yeah.
that could be a thing. But yeah, I think that once those start releasing, then you genuinely have like a console that's like built for anyone to just jump in and have a massive library. But I can understand why they haven't sprinkled these out straight away within the first year, because then you have people asking for years going, how come we don't have anything? It's like, well, we already gave you everything. So you do have to sort
Yeah.
of sparingly do it. But
Yeah.
I think for me, all my third party stuff, and Ben probably feels the same, I'm going to be playing on PlayStation. It's like I don't
Yeah.
get hyped when I see
Yep.
Lords of the Fallen 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, because like
Mm.
I wouldn't play it there anyways. So
Yeah.
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 I think
Ben, what about you?
I think what they need is, you know, they've been relying a lot on, you know, the Kirby, Yoshi, Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda. I would like to see something new, like just for the Switch
Mm.
too. You know, something that's a little bit innovative, you know, a bit unique, but still Nintendo.
Different.
Um, and you know, something that I'm not sure what, but something fresh and you know it might grab people's attention and be like, hey, this is only on the Switch too, and you should get this because of XYZ. And you know, I'd be really interested to see, because the Switch 2 is powerful, what they can do with that with an original IP. um you know, I feel like Nintendo has always been not lacking, but slightly a step behind in the hardware department. And now they have a chance to, you know, play against PlayStation 5 and Xbox
Mm.
Series X. And, you know, they could come out with something that really blows us away and go, shit, I need that. But, yeah, we will
I'd love
see.
that.
Mm.
I can't even think of what the like newest IP would be. Like
That's what I
because
mean. Like,
all these characters have been around since like I was
too
a
long.
kid. So
Well,
yeah.
they've never needed to though. That's the thing. They have such an
Yeah.
established like IP. You drop any of these names, everyone loses their mind, and like the thing's
Yeah.
already flying off the shelves as is. So it's just like they don't
Why
need
bother?
to, but it would be great if they did though. Like
I
they've already
mean,
bringing in a lot more mature games. Like what if they just came out with like a
exactly. And
really
they've
mature one? It'd be
shown
cool.
this last year that they're not afraid to have, you know, Final Fantasy, Doom, whatever on Nintendo Switch too, like
Mm.
Duskbloods, like
Yeah.
a From Software
Yeah.
game, multiplayer game. Like, let's do something maybe it's dark, maybe it's not that platformer bright aesthetic that they're used to. Maybe it's something darker for us older gamers, but it's new and it's unique.
Their studios can do it too, because I can't remember the name of the game, but the one that Game Freak is developing, that's like
Beasts of Reincarnation, I think.
Yeah, and that looks like a completely like in terms of visuals compared to what we see watered
Absolutely.
down in a Pokemon game. It's just like, wait, people forget like these are massive studios; they can do it. It's just like they've never had the power, like you said.
That to me, that should have been exclusive. Like, I'm probably gonna play it on PlayStation 5. No,
Yeah,
me too.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
but it doesn't make to me. I would release that just on Switch too.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe they're worried about the reception because it is a new IP. But we'll see.
Yeah. As for me, I would like to see a new Animal Crossing in the next year. Something I don't know if we will now because we only just got the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of New Horizons. But it's definitely a money maker. Like, I remember how much New Horizons exploded in COVID. I don't know if it would I don't know if it was released today, if it would explode as much. Probably not. But Animal Crossing is just such a perfect. I hate cozy games, but like that is like my cozy game. I love it.
I think it would hit around the same as Pocopia. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
because that was kind of the same vibes. But you know, because it was COVID, like everyone had something to bond over.
Yeah, and
I think
Switches
that's
were
what
more
kind of-
affordable then too, so
Yeah.
people ran out and bought them.
Actually, you know what would get me into a Animal Crossing sequel, a cozy game, because I'm not really a cozy game either. Setting it in space. Like you have your own moon, right?
a planet or something.
Yeah, and you can go to other people's moons. Like you can still have all these cute creatures. You can make them like anything, like little cute aliens, furry, weird eyes.
Oh yeah.
Like you can incorporate like cute and cozy things, but also have like retro futuristic things as well. I don't know. I'd be interested in that though.
That's
Well,
like a
I
perfect
wouldn't. So
expansion for an Animal Crossing.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to like trademark
Copyright.
these ideas. Yeah.
Call up Mr. Nintendo.
Yeah, and pitch it. I'd also like to see some sort of availability of Twilight Princess on Nintendo Switch 2 as well, because it's my favorite Zelda game, and I cannot bring myself to dust my Wii U off and play it on that. So
it's the only main entry Zelda game that I haven't played.
It's so good.
I know. I keep hearing that, and I can't play it.
It's so dark. It's so good. Yeah.
I've got the boxed Wii U one that comes with the amiibo, but I've like never opened it or anything like that.
That would be my last wish list. And with that, that is the end of this week's episode of Not Another Update, a weekly news podcast by NextPlay Australia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, stay tuned for Ready Up, our new podcast by us, where we chat hot topics, rank video games, play trivia, and more. As always, thanks for listening, and until next time, gamers, bye.
Bye-bye.